Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today I will present about my work. It's explain about poetry. I present this work to fulfill the assignment of linguistic and literature in ELT Class B. Alright, before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Ahmad Ilham Qothrunnada with the ID students number 06020520027. Okay, so what we will learn about the poetry. So there are several topics of poetry. First is what is poetry. Second is elements of poetry. The third is what is alliteration. The fourth is what is assonance, and the last is poetry analysis. So in the last we will exercise for poetry analysis. Okay, so what is poetry? Uh, what is poetry and what kind of poetry is it? So, poetry is a literature that evokes a concentrated, imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. Poetry is a vast subject as old as history and older, present wherever religion is present, possibly under some definition, the primal and primary form of language themselves. The next is elements of poetry. So in a poetry, there are some elements that build a poetry. So there are alliteration, assonance, figurative language, imagery, rhythm, tone, stanza, and rhyme. But in this lesson, I will explain you just two elements of poetry. There are alliteration and assonance. First is alliteration. So, what is alliteration? What are the example of alliteration? So, we will learn after this. So, alliteration. Alliteration is literally device that repeats a speech sound in a sequence of words that are close to each other. Alliteration uses consonant sounds at the beginning of a word to give stress to its syllable. This technique plays a crucial role in poetry by lending a strong rhythm and musical structure to any verse. So the next is example of alliteration. So here I have two example of poetry. First poetry, it's Preach by Robert Frost. So uh, in this poetry, there are texts. When I see preach pants to left and right. So for the first line, the alliteration is preach pan. Why? Because each word it's beginning with the same word or same consonant P and B. So we will we call it alliteration. So the next is in the third line. In the third line, the word is I like to think some boys been swinging them. The alliteration is boys been because each word in the beginning it start with the word be and be. It's same. The last is but swinging doesn't bend them down to stay. The alliteration is but and bend. Okay. The next poetry. The first line. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary. We call it alliteration because in the beginning of this those two words, we call it W and W. It's same. The next line. Over many a kind and curious volume of forgotten lore. Quine and curious. We look at that it has different word, but why it is called alliteration? Because it has the same sounds. Quine, curious, cu, quine, curious, curious. It's same. So it it can call it it could call alliteration too. The last, where I needed nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. It's clear because those words begin with an word. Okay. Next, the second element is assonance. So, what is assonance and what are the example of assonance? We will discuss it after this slide. So, assonance. What is assonance? So, poetry often includes some device that tie the word and lines together. Assonance is one of those sound devices. Assonance is a literary device in which the repetition of similar vowel sounds takes place in two or more words in proximity to each other within a line of poetry or prose. Assonance must often refers to the repetition of internal vowel sounds in words that don't end the same. To make it clear, I will implement in this example. I have a I have two poetry. So the first poetry, it's Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. Hear the mellows wedding bells. Where is the assonance? So the assonance is mellow wedding bells because those three words has same sounds or same vowel. It's A. Mellow wedding and bells. Golden bells. It's same with the line before this line. What a word of happiness their harmony foretells. It has A too. The next poetry. But all the time I see being a climbing on. The assonance of this line is E, 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 E. And reaching landings. And turning corners. And sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. In this poetry, there are several assonance that have I word. Okay, the next we will try to analyze a poetry. Where is the assonance and where is the alliteration? So here I have analyzed. So for the red word, it is alliteration because I want to make it clear. So the first line, my puppy punched me in the eye. The alliteration is this, the red one, P P P, and for the assonance is double is U. I put it in green color. U puppy punch. Okay. The second line, my rabbit wag my ear. For this line, there is no alliteration because I don't see some uh, same word in here. But I found assonance rabbit wake A and A. The next, my ferret gave a frightful cry. So for the alliteration, it's ferret and frightful, and the assonance is give and A. Okay. The next, and the roundhouse kick my rear. The alliteration is R and R. My lizard flipped me upside down. My kitten kicked my head. K and K, and it is has assonance to E and E. Kitten and kick. My hamster slammed me to the ground. M and M. That is alliteration. For the assonance is A and A. My hamster and slammed. The next is and left me nearly dead. L and L. It's alliteration. And for the assonance is me and uh, nearly. And the next is so my advice avoid regret. A and A. No matter what you do, A and A. Assonance. Don't ever let your family pass. A. For the alliteration is L. And the last is take lessons in Kung Fu. A and A. It's the assonance. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for taking your attention to me. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.